Howdy doody, everybody. Let's do it. It's the MLB Pick'em Show, brought to you by Underdog right here on the Mayo Media Network with your host, John Legaza. Follow me up on Twitter. X, whatever, who cares? I just call it Twitter. Make sure you sign up to Underdog. Use the promo code MMN. First $100 for free. If it's free, it's for me, yo. You know it. I'm struggling right now. I'm on the struggle bus myself, doing the annual inter-season sickness going on. I've got two young kids, and public schools are a freaking petri dish. Did pretty good to fight it off, and now I am dying. My throat, oh my gosh, I am absolutely dying. But there is no quit. Grab your spear, grab your shield. Join the Phalanx. It's time for MLB's version of 300. Give the books nothing. We take from them everything. Jeff L., what's going on, my dude? How we doing, everybody? The schedulers, again, they're just having fun with us. Gosh. Crazy stuff. There's two games on tonight. We got one in about an hour or so, and then another one, 9:40. Jeff says, class is in session. Mi gente, I appreciate it. I'm quite proud to be the professor in this wily group. But at the same time, you know me, ears are always open, my dude. I am all ears, always open to suggestions. Part of what I think makes us so very good at this, I've been out there with the public-facing algo, providing picks for people for years, making money on the record, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. It's very hard to beat these markets, in particular with, pricing, right? Because if everyone always says, well, if you're so sharp and you bet it, it's going to move. Yeah, like that happens as part of it. How many plays I actually lose. Enough of that. More of this. Fastest show on MLB. Absolutely freaking anywhere. Press the cartoon finger. Press the cartoon bell. That stuff matters way more than it should. Get up on social media. Tag Patty Mayo. Let him know how good of a job we're doing. I'm sure he'd love that. Why not? Okay. So I got one pick for each game. I'm starting to get alerts about weather in the first one. So when we break down the second one, I'm going to look for like a backup, just in case. Because there is a chance, again, that while I'm running my big mouth, the Cubs game gets scratched. But from what I understand, it's going to be played. I read maybe with a delay, but I read getting played. So let's do the thing we do, me and you, Mayo Media crew, everybody. It's the Miami Marlins going to Chi-Town to face the Baby Bears. It's A.J. Puck against Jameson Taillon. Man, A.J. Puck kind of fooled us. Fooled you. DDB, what's going on? Says Cubs postponed. All right, well, thank you for having me not waste my time. Appreciate it. Slam the brakes. The car goes into drift. But I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much because you saved me. And my voice is dying. You just absolutely saved me. Again, the phalanx only as strong, right, as the gaps between the shields. Dee and Jeff keeping it tight around here. Really do appreciate you. No doubt. Listen, people. I never have to get ready because the big dude stays ready. Death, taxes, sunrise in the east, set in the west. Bears making dookie in the woods and me up before the crack of dawn, getting ready every single day with this stuff. Follow me on Twitter. Get me over on Substack if you want to see the rest of it. I'm going into the spaghetti at the wall. It's just every freaking thing you could do. Like, you really have to be out of your mind. But if you're into this stuff, it can take a lot of time. So I've kind of made it my goal to shorten that time. Roll with us here at Media Net. Rate, review, and subscribe. Let's do the one game on the slate, okay? It's Ryan Nelson on the bump for the Diamondbacks. Those snakes with shapes on their back. Heading to the beautiful bridge in San Fran to face Logan Webb and Los Gigantes, the San Francisco Treats. All right, let's take a little look-see. What do we got on the big board? Arizona, I'm sure I wrote that down wrong. Arizona's got to be... Okay, +1. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. Let me just back it up 1 second. Arizona is the dog. Sorry, I swapped it. I just knew it was wrong. We knew Webb going for the Giants was going to be the favorite at home. I was trying to write down the odds because I swapped them. So right now, live line. Get it back on the track. Diamondbacks +130. Dogs on the road, -155. to Logan Webb on the Giants side. Right off the bat, that sounds like a decent bet. I know this is not a general betting market show, but I like Webb. Why do I like Webb? Well, I mean, you can go back through last year, right? This year and last year, 240 innings of a 3.3 ERA with a 1.11 WHIP. Comes with a 660 OPS, and all the indicators are just with the chef's kiss, XFIP, my composite at 3.5 or below. XFIP is 3.2. The control is just sick. Alluding message to the first one. Play we'll be looking at. The strikeouts are not great, and that's where I think Logan Webb takes some beatings in the fantasy realm, and he takes some beatings in like the DFS realm, and for like the swag community or whatever. But in reality, this guy's getting it done. 22K doesn't matter when your walk rate is below 4% across 240 innings. You just can't do that by accident. And again, if you roll with us, nuance and context pouring out your nose. We like to use ball rate over walk rate. And if you're unfamiliar, 35 smack in the middle, 3 clicks, right? 1 point each direction is ooh. I don't know how to say it, right? 35 in the middle, 36. It's below average, right? 37% ball, things are getting bad, 39 or worse. That's where you get into the 12, 13, 14% walk rates, which is pretty much not viable, and it works in the other direction. 34 is above average. It's pretty darn good. 33 is really good. You have great control. 32 is phenomenal, right? Phenomenal. Jeff L. asking about BVP. Let's get it up on the big board. Does the Arizona lineup historicals against Webb go into any analysis? I'm going to be honest. That's not my style, right? I've never really been a BVP guy. But of course, I'm always like listening. And I actually think there are good arguments for both sides, right? So I didn't want to be that person just coming out and like, oh, it's a joke, because I don't think. I think I might have fallen for that at one point, and I don't think it's the case, because in certain circumstances, I think we get hitters being able to see something really well, or perhaps they picked up on a sequence or picked up on a tip of sorts, right? The tipping pitches is not always just like, oh, he nodded 3 times for the changeup. Sometimes a pitcher digs into his gloves longer for a certain pitch, and that's all it takes sometimes. Sometimes they have nerdy people like me really getting granular to stats, and you'll see, guy doesn't throw a fastball with 2 strikes ever, You'd be surprised. Having those little pieces of information can really step it up. So, right, it makes sense how it can be something, but not just because they faced each other, right? So I'm gonna be a snake. I'm going to take the back door. While I was doing that, I actually pulled up. He's been very successful against the Diamondbacks. 2.8 ERA in 10 games, 250 batters faced. That's, it's quite a bit. So he's been really good against them. But I just think Webb's a really good pitcher, right? He's so efficient because the control is so good. Then you get the absolute, metric ton of ground balls, right? So we mentioned the control. It's above average chase, so he's very good around the edges. He always gets ahead. Ground ball rate at 61.5 across 240 innings. It's amazing. This guy has a 3.3 ERA with a 3.09 BABIP. When he runs hot on BABIP, you can't touch him. You can't touch him. 4.5 barrel is excellent. Sub 1 homer 9. 286 expected WOBA. 348 expected on contact. This is Logan Webb back through last year. You look at this year, you get a lot more of the same. People were worried the first time out because, again, the strikeout stuff. This is not the guy you worry about with strikeout stuff. I'd ask first things first. What is the walk rate? It's 5%. I'd say check. What's the CSW? You'd say it's over 29. I'd say check. You'd say ball rate. It's at 36. So, a little bit of control stuff. But, again, that's what I'm here for, right? Digging a little more granular. The first strike through the roof. Foul ball rate very low, which, again, is very helpful when we try to go deep. It also implies being good around the edges, and his own contact is very good. So, Logan Webb, wheels up. He's fine. 2 or fewer walks in 14 of the last 15 games last year. It's pretty darn good. Now, granted, he walked a few guys the first 2 times out this year, but I'm not ready to overreact to it, right? That's where we want to kind of lean on not just the sample, but the fact that we've kind of also seen the correction. Here's what I mean. He went 6 innings and he walked 2 against the Padres. He went 3 2/3. He walked 2 Dodgers. But then the last 2 outings, went 7, gave up 2, went 7, gave up 1, walked 1 total. Right? So this is the pitcher that we're accustomed to seeing. And that's what I think we're getting going forward, right? And we don't want to get hung up on so much good, little blips of bad, especially if that's what's opened the window for us. So before we move on to the other half of the breakdown, this is brought to you by Underdog. Thank those people there. Much love, my boy Patty Mayo, making it happen. Pure goat. Sign up to Underdog. Use the promo code MMN. Let them know Big Johnny sent you first $100 on us, baby. $100 match on the first deposit. You got to be 18, 19 in other states: Alabama, Nebraska, Arizona. I think Maine is MA. Might be Massachusetts. I'm stupid. I don't know. And present in a state where it's legal, of course. Terms apply. And if you're concerned with your play, 1-800-GAMBLER, ncpgambling.org. Or as I kind of always say, you could reach out to me. I forgot to pop up the play. So the first one, we're not going to get in. I liked Juicy Jazzy Jeff Chisholm over 1 hit run ribby. I actually liked the total bases, but it wasn't provided. So we're going to scratch that one. Let's stick with the Logan Webb. 1.5 walks lower. Let's do the other side of this analysis, right? So you can only bet on 1 prop per pitcher, right? When you pick your picking pitcher props. So we're going to have to find it on the other side. Let's do some analysis on the other side, and let's see if we can find something before we get out of here. So it's Ryan Nelson on the bump. We go back to last year. It's 158 innings, 5.3 ERA, 1.44 WHIP, 850 OPS. Maybe we could find a bat in here somewhere. Indicators all agree: 4.85 or worse. 16% K is bad. 7.5 walk is probably right around average. But a single KBB, 10% swinging strike, 25 CFW, 20 whiff is not any good. Again, the ball rate is good. Going to keep that walk rate in check. But way too many foul balls, way too much contact. He puts a ball in the air and he gets barreled. We want to be looking for lefties. Lefties hitting 287, 890 OPS against him. So let me just dial up the Giants lineup before we do any more wasted information today. Trust me, I don't ever want to do that. We got Jung-Hoo Lee and Lamont Wade up top. If I remember correctly, I think they're actually both hitting righties pretty well. Let's see if I can filibuster this thing into something viable. I'm starting to feel like I think we're going to be able to. So let's take a look at the top third of the lineup, of course. Remember, we want the top third because we're always trying to maximize that plate appearance. It's very important. In particular, if you're at home and you're a favorite like we are, right? Being home and a favorite almost implies 1 fewer frame. So again, that's only going to change the math so much, but it does change the math. And when you bet this every day, that could be the difference between red and black ink at the end. Just saying, that comes from experience. Answer's got to be Lamont Wade. He is crushing right-handed pitching right now, batting .440 with a .640 slug, 1157 OPS, 200 ISO, 2 doubles, and a shamalama ding-dong for Lamont Wade. He's going to be batting second. It looked like the average stuff might have been good for Lee also. Yeah, Jung-Hoo Lee, 333 average. Let me just shrink the time frame. Maybe no one totally went cold. No, they're both looking pretty good. So let's get up into the Underdog market in real time. And I just realized I don't think you can even do that because I don't think all your picks can be on the same team. They can't foot in mouth. Number 2, 3 strikes, I'm going to be out. Oof. Okay, so if we're afraid of the pitching to lefties and we're getting a lot of contact, then we want to avoid going under the outs, right? I just want to kind of walk people through this. This is mistakes I've made. You don't necessarily want to say, well, Nelson stinks and he's the underdog, so we go under the outs. Contact pitchers can just boop, boop, boop. Oh, man. Wait, did he just throw 6 pitches and get out of it? If that happens even after like a rough inning, managers feed into that. So we want to be careful. Maybe we can go under strikeouts. Let's pop over San Francisco against righties on the year again. You wonder where I pull this stuff from. Using the very best data provided by yours truly on Substack, $2 a week. $2. Make me holla. Okay, Giants. The strikeout rate is below average against righties, so this is 23.3. However, but, big shaking butt. The walk rate over 9, swing and strike rate just below 11. Chase rate at 26, in-zone contact rate well above average. So though the strikeout rate is not great, the underpinning stuff says we can go under. Oh, man, how low do we go? How low do we go? Oh, my goodness. Okay, so we can go under 3.5 strikeouts. So that's what I think we have to do. We're going to have to go under. We're going under 3.5 Nelson K's, and we're going to go under 1.5 Logan Webb walks allowed. Sorry to be. So that's a plus 160 real life, right? Times 270. Times 260. So plus 160 in real life. I'm going to make that the play. I'm going to bet this and post it just as soon as we get out of here in a minute. Wanted to just see if there's any questions. Jeff promoting my stuff. Thank you so much. It's pretty crazy. DDB, Webb's a stud, but I can see Ryan having a game against a sorry Giants lineup. Yeah, I got you. Let's take one more look at them before we get out of here. So I mentioned the disciplinary basket is pretty good. And they don't run. They're hitting the ball hard. But really, it's on the ground too much, not enough barrels. But me, I'm such a sucker for approach that, like, if you're not going to chase and you're not going to swing and miss, I feel like all the good stuff is going to come. So that's where I'm at. I cannot bring up the image because the image is now defunct. But it's Logan Webb, 1.5 walks allowed lower. Ryan Nelson, 3.5 strikeouts allowed lower. I'm just going to look for him to do what he does, right? The 90% contact, even if he goes 5 or 6 innings, who cares? Right? He does not induce whiffs at all. He throws plenty of strikes. He does not induce chases. And the Giants are not a team to chase, right? They don't have a propensity to reach. So I think we have a pretty good matchup there. I always get nervous whenever I have to go under 3.5 strikeouts. That's just kind of a low bar, right? Average pitcher, going to go 5, going to go 6. Hopefully it doesn't go 6. All right, that'll do it this time. Really do appreciate everybody. Jeff and Dee, everybody kind of sticking around and commenting and checking out the show, making us your favorite lineup lock show as you cross your T's and dot your I's. Because these weird days, I get it. Some people, if you went touch grass greater than sign me right now, listen, of course I want you to hang around, but I understand. This month, here, come touch digital grass with us here at Mayo Media Net. Make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. That stuff matters way, way, way more than it should. One last time, Logan Webb, 1.5 walks allowed under against the Diamondbacks. Ryan Nelson on the bump for Arizona, under 3.5 strikeouts allowed. We're going to go lower. Again, the Cubs game has been postponed. So if the same starters go out there, if Tyon is out there, you want like an early bet, man. Chisholm, over 1.5 total bases, or I would have also combined hit run Ribby Arias with a 1 hit for Jazz. We're trying to mix them up, high probability stuff. Look to just knock it in an inning. All right, this time we're out of here. Thank you so much for picking up and putting down. Do all of the things, the cartoon fingers and the cartoon bells. Wish my voice good luck that it's still intact tomorrow. I have a non-zero chance that it's not. Appreciate you all, and we'll check in tomorrow. Sorry about the adjusted plays, but we don't control the schedule or the weather. Do my very best in real time to, like I said, whip the wheel, hit the drift, make the corner, hopefully, and then get us back on the straightaway. But that actually made sense. Incoming. All right, everybody. Last lesson, as always, when you work this hard, feels a lot less like luck, don't it? Oh, you're damn right, man. I see you tomorrow. Hopefully, we have some actual baseball games to bet on. Peace.